Hi, my name is Gary Smith. I'm a QMT, and today we're going to look at a 4-inch pneumatic actuator. This pneumatic actuator is normally open and it controls the water to my heat deck on my air handler. So the first thing we need to do is remove the pressure line. And we will connect our test gauge to it and we will pump it up. And if you'll watch the actuator here, you can watch it move.
And now this is closing the valve. So as the zone becomes satisfied, it then closes this valve, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And so now our valve is all the way closed
Okay.
at 8 psi. And so now we'll hold it there to make sure we have no leakage. And it seems to be holding. So we'll release the pressure now and it will open back up, allowing water to flow to my heat deck again.
Okay. Thanks, Gary. Good explanation.
Even though this actuator passed the test, we are going to go ahead and pull the diaphragm to show you how easily it can be replaced had it failed the test.
Now you went ahead, Gary, and took out some of the screws in advance to save everybody some time, right?
Yeah, nobody wants to watch me take out screws. I think they've got that pretty much handled. Hold up. All right, I'm gonna have to cheat. All right. Hold up, Rich. You take the top off, pull the diaphragm out. You get your new diaphragm, you install it, just the reverse of what you did. Make sure you're good. You're not overlapping. Put your top back on. Screw it back together. It's a very simple process on these. I think we can all do this and save us a lot of money.
And how often have you had to replace these?
I've only had to replace 2 in 8 years.
Okay.
So it's not something that goes out every day.
And what were some of the symptoms that made you come and check it?
No water flow.
Well, how did you know that?
I looked at my temperature gauges on my air handler and I was running high water temp, even though my area was satisfied. So then I shut off and I could hear air leakage. I shut everything down and then I could hear air leakage out of it. So it was a pretty simple process once I shut all the noise off in the room.
So whenever you've also had instances where you've had problems with the temperature in the zone, and one of the things you've done is come up here and check these actuators, right?
Exactly. If you get too hot in a zone, it could be the actuator.
Okay.
Now, some of you guys will have a normally closed actuator, and your zone will get too cold if it fails. Mine is a normally open actuator, allowing water flow, and it gets shut off by the controller.
Okay.
And then we'll test it to make sure we got it put together right. And we'll watch for leakage. And no leakage, we're good to go. Remember to put your pressure line back on. And this one's ready to go.
Now, Gary, before we move on, you know, one thing Pneumatics, everybody thinks is really a complex, complicated system, and you know, I'm learning as we go along that it's really not all that complicated. You know, getting the test kit, I think, was kind of step one, but then coming up and actually starting to do it and to go ahead and, you know, test the actuators and begin to understand them, I think, is the key.
Yes, it is. And you have to do these things to remember it. If you need to go up to your room and tear one of these apart, the parts are available to fix it should you mess it up. All right, don't be afraid to try. You should reset, as soon as you change the thermostat temperature, you should calibrate it. Come up and replace one of these diaphragms on these. You do it once, you'll remember it. It's like anything. You can watch me on this video do it and say, I got that. But until you do it yourself, you really don't learn it.
Okay. And then one of the other things today that I guess we learned as we were up here, we actually took a moment and we took a look at one of these, which is actually a Honeywell damper actuator, which I'm showing you on the film right now. And what we discovered is that the Honeywell damper actuators are not actually rebuildable.
No, they're not. And you'll have to get a new one and replace the actuator if those go bad.
And those are available to order from Grainger's.
From Grainger,
and Honeywell.
yeah.
Now, if you have one that is a Powers actuator, those are easily rebuildable and include the diaphragms.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, Gary, I just want to take a minute, as I kind of gave you this impromptu interview at the end of that video, to thank you for your support in making these videos. So I appreciate your help. This is Rich Green signing off for the day. Talk to you guys later.